What's going on, Soul Nation, and welcome to another New World Aeternum video. If you guys have been paying attention, the New World Aeternum launch trailer has officially dropped, and I have to say the team behind this trailer knows what they're doing. It really gets you excited to step back into the world of Aeternum. And also there's things that people have been finding, as MMO Bomb reports that we've seen dual pistols show up in what looks like the player's hand. Now, those have been weapons as a part of enemies for a time being. At the end of the day, maybe this is a fun hint as to what is to come next. Now, beyond pistols, I'm also hoping that we will see daggers. So those are the two weapons that I'm rooting for most before we get back into the world of magic, which I'd love to always see. A lightning staff and maybe a healing orb or something among those lines. You can let me know what weapons you're most excited about. Also, for those of you who are on PC and planning on returning, I did ask because you can go log in now. To do so will make you eligible for the mount, the Azov Stalker mount. I do believe you have to have the expansion registered to your account. But as always, like I asked and they confirmed, this actually is going to end up being a new PC download. I do wonder if it's going to end up being a new Steam ID, which would make the state of the games on this game going forward way interesting and more, because it would give us a whole new starting point and a whole new level of metrics to truly compare outside of the hype of when we all were locked down and had nothing to play and couldn't go outside. So that is where we're at. And if you guys like MMORPG content, if you guys enjoy New World Aeternum content, you guys are in the right place. If I earn your sub, sound off in the comments below so I can officially welcome you to the channel, just like with Lee Stad, Frank, and Lancer. Welcome in, guys. I'm glad that you're here. We got a lot of new faces and we got a lot to talk about, so let's get into it. First and foremost, this is focusing in on a little bit of news, going over frequently asked questions. Second part of this is kind of a discussion about why isn't this a real thing in game that happens season to season. I'm going to give you guys my thoughts and we'll talk about it, and then we'll wrap up with our message of hope. It opens up with greetings, adventurers. A cursed island plagued with mystery awaits in the Trials of Aeternum in-game event. Embark on a thrilling journey which challenges spanning new shores and shattering mountains. With the New World Aeternum launches on October the 15th. In pursuit of rumor and riches, you'll join forces with your fellow PC, PlayStation 5, and Xbox Series X and S adventurers and turn weekly achievements into highly coveted exclusive rewards themed around foundations of Aeternum. So your teams are obviously Xbox, rocking the forest green, PlayStation, rocking the river blue, and PC, rocking the mountain red. This is going to be a 3-week long event, and the thing I'm going to say about this now, as if you're following along with the words on the video, is that I'm glad that this has opened up for more people outside of us content creators. Last time they did a kind of event like this, it was really content creator driven, and you'd have to get keys and invite people in. Looks like just being on a different platform puts you on that different team. Can't wait to see how this kind of plays out, and we will see who takes it home. I think ultimately all the rewards are going to roll out. Anyway, it says 3-week long event. It's going to feature themed challenges designed to guide the team through supernatural secret threats and fortunes lurking across Aeternum. As you grow in power, you're going to track your team's challenges, progress, and hard-earned spoils in the dedicated Trials of Aeternum. The island increasingly savage and supernatural cycle is not for the faint of heart, but favors those who seek opportunity and conquer the Trials of Aeternum to seize yours. Now, they highlight several different reward packs for the different teams. Ultimately, I think they're just kind of highlighting the different skins. So essentially where the fires, the blue and the green note that you're not going to be left out, but this is what's going to be available for you to unlock those rewards. And I'd love to know your thoughts about it, especially if you're going to be picking up it on console. Are you going for the PlayStation 5 or the Xbox version? I'd love to hear it. Anyway, there are some questions and some answers when it comes to this information. Are legacy servers eligible to participate in the Trials of Aeternum? And no, the Trials of Aeternum delivers a completely New World Aeternum launch experience for new characters from the shores to Shattered Mountain. Only standard servers across PC, PlayStation, and Xbox can participate. Now, are standard console-only worlds eligible for participation in the Trials of Aeternum? No, and so you have to be playing on a cross-server world. But if you do and you choose to opt into a console specific world, then you're not going to be able to participate in the trials of Aeternum. How will the teams work? All players, regardless of the server, will be split into 3 teams: PC, PlayStation 5, and the Xbox Series X and S. This is a cooperative event, so everyone will work together to complete the same challenges, even if they're on different teams. However, each team will have their own individual progress. For example, if adventurers on PC unlock a weekly reward faster than the adventurers on PlayStation 5 or the Xbox Series X, the adventurers on the PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X are still eligible to unlock that reward, even when relevant challenge milestones are completed. When will we receive the unlock weekly rewards? And they're going to roll out after or throughout the event each week, which makes sense from, honestly, from a coding and tracking all the stats perspective. Having kind of that weekly cadence, it works. It just works for a reason. All right, now we're going to our last question. Are the content creator codes eligible for redemption on PC, PlayStation, and Xbox? And they say each content creator will share different codes depending on their realm. Forest Green, River Blue, or Mountain Red weapon skins. Now, there are codes, and they announced this in this, and I have no idea if I'm included on. Ultimately, I don't know if I've got time to do something like this, but we will see in the long run. We do have a sponsored post coming up from Amazon here in the next week, which is going to be exciting to see. Now, the reason why I wanted to bring this up is namely because I wanted to talk about why isn't this a thing in game. If we pull up just the journey card, for those of you who are brand new, your season is basically kind of a free battle pass. You can pay for a premium one, but ultimately you get an activity card and you get a journey card, and your journey unlocks various different chapters by completing various different activities. This is the card that you can kind of expect that helps really push you down that seasonal reward track. That all being said, is I like what they're doing with the Trials of Eternum, but why isn't this a thing also in game? Why isn't there a shared server wide, basically card that everybody on the server is working on? And what would make it really interesting is that because there are multiple servers, it could be really cool to see the servers ranking as different things and different challenges get completed. Obviously, higher population servers would have an advantage, but all at the end of the day, this is just for some, fun rewards and maybe even just a little bit of bragging rights, because you could add in so many just wide-ranging challenges. To give you an example of how this would work, let's say on chapter 1 they have a task that says run 1,000 dungeons. All right, that seems like an insane amount, and you run 5, but then other people on the server all run 5, and ultimately that challenge gets knocked out relatively fast, especially if you end up running with a group of 5. You think you can knock out 25, form a pre-made party of 5, and go run that dungeon, and boom, now you're rocking and rolling with that multiplication factor all at play. So that's what I mean by it. It's not to make endless grinds more endless, but this passive in the background, server wide, something in terms of that, because I believe that's what creates a lot of unity in these games. You can let me know what you think, but it's that asynchronous multiplayer that I think is the unique advantage that MMORPGs have, and especially in the marketplace today. What are we all working on together? Oh, go gather 1,000 things of wood or 10,000 things of wood. You can really start to see how fast things happen, because we know they already have the data behind all this, and that's just something I would personally like to see. Now, that's the news, and those are my thoughts, and that's kind of a little bit of a discussion all wrapped into it. I do want to end with our message of hope, because this is the most, I think, important part of these videos, especially with the way the world can be and is. It's easy to see how things can look pretty dire at times. Now, Jamie writes, "Hey man, first time watching. I just watched the Throne of Liberty video of your endpoints about life, depression, and anxiety, and it was actually really nice to hear. It's 4:30 in the morning for me right now, and I'm going through some rough nights of sleep and overthinking. I appreciate your words. Great video. New sub for me. Big love, X." Now, this is our story. This is all of our story. Whether you're going through what Jamie is going through right now, whether you're going through what I've been through, these are in a way, the seasons of life that come and go in our daily lives. Now, I understand the overthinking. I like his comment here. I think resonated with me so deeply, because I can remember being up at 4:30 in the morning and just saying, screw it, I guess I'll just go work. This is why I want to encourage you guys. Rest is incredibly important, and I know that anxiety and these things can prevent that. But there's tools that you can kind of use, and like I encourage, cognitive behavior therapy is one of those tools, but also exercise as another tool. And then finally, for me, like just breathe right nose strips across the nose has been a huge help. I went and got tested back when I was constantly gaining weight and not able to lose any of it back. It's crazy to think that was like a year, just over a year ago that's where I was. And now here I am 80 pounds down. But getting that has been a huge help in improving my sleep. And this is what I want to talk to you, my fellow gamers, about, because we all love games here. That's kind of the big whole thing. Let's talk about games. Let's talk about them as honestly and as authentically as we can without all the BS that we tend to find out on the internet, especially within socials. Part of that is that I know that pushes me, or has in the past pushed me, into unhealthy habits of staying up way too late. And so I want to encourage people, especially like find a way to cut your screen time, especially in the evening. Now I set my phones and all of that to basically say after 9 o'clock, it's disabled unless it's an emergency, basically. And you can program that if you have an iPhone. I wonder if you have an Android, but also that means that you need to give yourself some time to rest. The other thing, especially if I was going to say something to Jamie, and if they're here watching this video and listening to this, like Jamie, I would say to you, you gotta stop overthinking. Like there's this concept of analysis paralysis, and what I'd like to see, if you can work on it. Again, this is something that like we have to work on. There's not a light switch for a lot of these things in our lives, but we got to work on being okay, letting things go, and basically in a way leaving it on the field. Give it your best, so that way when you're going to bed, you're like, I did everything I could do today. We're really hard on ourselves, especially as men. I am guilty of what I'm, of this, is beating myself up because I couldn't do enough, or I didn't do enough, or I start hitting that level of fatigue and exhaustion because I get up at 4 in the morning and go to work. Like I hit those levels of fatigue and exhaustion that I can easily start to build up this frustration with myself. So big part of that is practice setting it down, saying, you know what, this can wait to tomorrow. And if it's something that is just, like whether it's exercise or some other form of physical thing that you can do to kind of help have that, if that's not working, be sure, I would say a good cognitive behavioral therapist could really probably help unlock some of the root thoughts that are driving this cycle in which that it's pushing you to stay up way too late, which I think would have knock-on effects down the road. So rest is a really important, and video games can be a form of rest, but we have to make sure we take it with kind of that balanced approach. I'm rooting for you, Jamie. I'm rooting for anybody out there who is in that right now. I've seen a lot of really good comments, a lot of really good, discussion that we've had, especially around this topic of men's mental health. But I'm going to keep encouraging you guys. It's not just about our mental health, it's our physical health, and it's our spiritual health. Those 3 pillars are going to make us better men, better, like if we're husbands, better just human beings, as we strive to be, I think, what we've been created to be for this period of time. You were made for the here and now. And that's pretty freaking cool if you start to think about it. Anyway, that's just at least my perspective. I hope you guys got something good out of today's message. I hope we'll be bringing you guys these, as well as the MMORPG news and discussions that we like to have here. Anyway, thank you for listening. Hopefully I'll see you in the next video. But until then, take care.